my name is Bria Smith. I'm a 17-year-old rising senior from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
I'm Matt Post, an 18-year-old from Montgomery County, Maryland.
Me and Matt's friendship is unlikely. The people in power today, the entire blood-soaked power structure, want nothing more than for us to be divided.
To silo our cause, but our unity is their greatest fear.
Because when a Jewish kid from Maryland and a black inner city kid from Milwaukee come together and stand in solidarity,
when those kids join up with kids from Chicago, Houston, LA, St. Louis, Parkland, and Newtown to fight violence in all communities.
When young people from every race, gender, sexuality, and state defy the narrative that we have to be isolated from each other and afraid of each other,
you know that there is a new and unsettling force for change in this country.
You know that we're going to win. You know that we're going to win. You know that we are going to win.
For real, watching that, I'm like, dang, you got a long road ahead of you, for real, to really just get that anger, measured in some way.
Well, we all have a long road ahead of us, you know. It's not going to change just with the changing tide of politicians. And I think we need to start looking towards what the sustainable repair work and how we're going to amend what comes after the revolution and the uprising.
Mm-hmm. I found myself asking a lot of different systems. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, you're in a position that has the capacity to reform and to do things and to fuck shit up, and you aren't doing it. So I just feel really this clip, or even the movie in general, when you're reflecting on it, you're just wow, there's a lot of anger in a lot of kids right now. And that we're at the age where we're impressionable to be out here just chilling, doing what we need to, going to college, getting our education and just having a good time. But a lot of organizers are tasked with jeopardizing that to help their cities and their communities just be livable.
Mm-hmm. It's been a very transformative time. And we have to, now that we understand that we've been under the knee of white supremacy, we have to decolonize our minds first and understand what that takes. And once that unraveling really starts to happen, then we can, begin the real bloom. We can actually, perhaps start to, create a culture and a society that allows us to flourish.
I know it's definitely been hard for me, just to even say go vote to another black person. And then, how could I be saying that to the protesters, the organizers in my community going out there every single day since George Floyd was dying? Milwaukee, we're celebrating more than 100 days of protesting here. And going out there, being shot by rubber bullets, being tear gassed. I'm running around with all these other young people who don't understand that that they have representation in legislation, that they have a seat at the table when it comes to playing the oppressor's game, which means voting between two different parties. Even though we live in a two-party political system, there's not a lot of ideologies that are within that. But it was so hard for me to go to these young people and be just do it. You have to. And they're well, why? Questioning. And it's because we just have, that's just how it works. And a lot of times how it works is what gets people of color killed. How it works is what gets black people killed. And it's that, like you said before, that same perpetuation, this continuous cycle of will this ever end? Are people going to be held accountable? But what's different a lot in this revolution is that we're going through unprecedented times, the revolution at its peak, and then also a pandemic at its peak or entering its peak. We don't know yet.
This is not the time for apathy. And, from what I understand, that this election will be talked about for 100 years. It's that important. And so I understand, what's the word? The disbelief in a system that has failed us over and over again. And yet this is a call to action. And it's not the time to lay down. And we need guidance, and we need to find the soul of this movement. And this is just the beginning. And so we send a message when we show up, and what they're expecting in the division. This is how they break us. And so the first thing, in this these steps towards repair is to come together with our voice and say enough.
For sure. I love that story. Yeah.
There's none of us know, what the outcome will be, but we're willing to take a chance on something different.
Exactly.